Hello, YouTube, and today this is Adam from the Adam Politics Show, and today we are talking about the future of the Democratic Party, because I did an episode about the future of the Republican Party, and by that I'm talking about the short-term future and the 2024 Democratic primaries. So this is actually really surprising as she's turning 35 in its upcoming primary. This is AOC, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. I believe she's going to run because she's a very ambitious woman. Speaking as she went from straight to a waitress to a congresswoman. Very quick. I respect it, actually. Very much respect that big shift, that big wanting to get higher in life. You know what I mean? So this is some pros and cons about her, and here's her bid for running. So she's popular with the young millennial electorate. So basically, first, she's popular with the young millennial electorate. So I'm talking about millennials and Gen Z. They hail her as a huge role model for all women, environmentalists, and progressives out there. She would obviously win the progressive vote without any real struggle, just like Bernie Sanders did in 2016, 2020. She would probably even win the popular vote, but in terms of the state electors, it's going to be very hard for her to win. Speaking as her platform is basically save the environment, and she has barely any experience in Congress, speaking as she has only served for 3 years and hasn't sponsored any major legislation. And also, she ended up in the bottom 230 out of 240 Democrats in the House, which shows that she's not too effective at lawmaking, she's not too experienced, and she's more of just, and she hasn't been on many committees either, but she's more of just a, how do I say this, social media figure in terms of speaking as she has like 11 million followers on Twitter, and her tweets garnering much attention from both sides of the aisle. Republicans wanting to disprove her and, basically hate on her, I guess, and Democrats kind of hailing her. So she's not very experienced. She's an environmentalist, anti-establishment. She ran against a big corporate Democrat in 2018 and won, surprisingly. Somebody who kept their Congress seat 10 terms in a row, served 10 terms. Very surprising, very anti-establishment, runs against the grain, a bunch of respect from me. And let's get on to the next candidate. This is somebody very qualified. A woman who's the most qualified woman for presidency, in my opinion. That would be the one and only Amy Klobuchar. She's very experienced in Congress. Speaking as she's been serving since 2006. That's the longest tenured woman in Congress as of now. One of the longest tenured women in Congress as of now. She has experienced presidential campaigning. Speaking as she ran in 2020 for the Democratic ticket. She didn't win it, but she came very close. She did pretty good in the debates, actually. In the debates, she ended up winning New Hampshire debates, and people were hailing her as a great debater in the first Democratic primary debate. I mean, sure, she might debate with some emotion, but it can all be fixed with a couple, speeches. Great candidate. So here's some cons. She's not the best debater, debates with emotion, as I just stated. And she's unknown in terms of the broad Democrat electorate. Speaking as, if you asked any Democrat, a woman you would like for president, Amy Klobuchar would be, I feel like top 10, but not top, because not the broad electorate doesn't know her. If she could get her name out there, sponsor major legislation, maybe get in some controversy, not controversy, but like very popular advertising, just like AOC has done, she would probably get her boost in the polls, and she could become a huge but a huge dark horse candidate for the 2024 presidential election. Speaking as, here's one of the most probable candidates, the top two, I'd say, Vice President Kamala Harris. Here's some pros. Vice President serving under the President of the United States, first woman vice president, one of the first women vice president, I have to verify that, one of the first vice presidents of color. Sure, she served in the Senate for 4 years after one term, and she saw the times were shifting after Obama, and she ran for the ticket, and she actually came very close. She actually won a debate, dropping out of the race after a few, finishing third in most of the primaries. She sure, she debates with emotion a lot. She, speaking as the debate she won it because of one comment, saying as she was one of those children in Oakland who had to take the buses. But in my opinion, she's one of the most qualified people for president. One of the most qualified women. She was Attorney General of California. She kind of had some controversy there, speaking as she jailed a bunch of people for having drug charges such as marijuana, and then she joked about smoking weed. So I feel like that's not a great look for her. But, you know, sometimes everybody has controversies. Bill Clinton, Trump, many controversies, many controversies. Bush with many controversies. Everybody has some controversies, and everybody has to get through it. Remember, here's my saying. It's not how hard you get hit, it's how you get back up. So, here's the most likely candidate to win. Obviously, POTUS himself, Joe Biden. First, it's a re-electing campaign. He's a huge figure in the Democratic Party, arguably the leader of the Democratic Party. He's old. Not an insult, but he's very old. He's the oldest president ever get sworn into office. He is one of the most elderly people in the presidential campaign. He is very old, which could be a con because, age catches up since being the president is one of the most stressful jobs in the world. Actually, the most stressful job in the world because he's the leader of the free world. But I feel like Joe Biden has the most experience in the Democratic Party, seeking as he's the 16th longest-running senator in all of Senate history. He's the most probable to run, seeing as he's just going to be running for re-election since he's the president of the United States. He can capitalize off of the COVID situation. Speaking as, he's probably going to be the president to end COVID-19 and end the pandemic, because he can capitalize off of. Most likely, he will be running against ex-President Donald Trump, which would be a big talking point about how COVID ended. Speaking as, Trump was getting 1 million vaccines out, but Biden hired to 2 million, which I can give him credit for. Sure, he might not be the best public speaker. People say he has, dementia, which is not proven at all. People say he can't speak correctly, but my counter to that is just because you stutter doesn't mean you can't speak, doesn't mean you have dementia. But, he's the most experienced person for the job. He's going to be reelected. Not going to be reelected, but he's most likely the person to get reelected. And yeah, if you enjoyed this YouTube video, please like and subscribe. Give me some feedback. I know the camera's bad. Give me some feedback in the comments below. Thank you, and peace out.